Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Sean Evans, Meridian Chamber of Commerce President and CEO.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. On behalf of the Meridian Chamber of Commerce, Board of Directors, and membership of over 750 businesses in the area, we welcome you to the 2022 State of the City Address. We're so glad to have you choose to be with us here today in person and for those of you that are online. Meridian Chamber of Commerce is very proud to bring you once again the annual message of Mayor Robert Simison. This year, we're very pleased to once again have Albertsons as our presenting sponsor. This program, just like many chamber events, would not be possible if not for the support of our many supporting sponsors. Thank you for your generous support to continue to make this program available to the public and provide scholarships as a part of this event. Joining us today is our local city council members, Council President Brad Hoagland, Treg Burnt, Joe Borton, Luke Kavanagh, Jessica Parole, and Liz Strader. Thank you all for coming. We're also joined by the heads of the City of Meridian's various departments. Would you all please stand and be recognized if you are a city employee heading up one of the departments, please. I know you're out there. We've got you in name tags. Thank you. Thank you for all your great work you do in serving our community. I'd like to now ask you to please stand as we have the posting of the colors of the Meridian Honor Guard and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance led by Lisa Hansen and the singing of the national anthem performed by the Idaho Performing Arts Academy vocal majors, and then a brief invocation by Pastor Vinny Hankey of the Valley Life Community Church.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, with the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof the night that our flag
Good afternoon. The prophet Jeremiah in chapter 29, verse 7 reads this: "Seek the welfare of the city where I have sent you. Pray to the Lord on its behalf, for in its welfare you will find your welfare." Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for being a man who seeks the welfare of our city. Would you join me now in a brief moment of prayer? God, we ask as residents of Meridian today that you might help us to focus on whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, that which is excellent and praiseworthy. May we pursue such things as residents of the city. Help us to be people who see one another as neighbors and seek to serve one another in love. We ask your blessing and protection upon all those who serve our city, those in the conference rooms, the classrooms, the emergency rooms, and the squad rooms. You are the God of peace, and we ask now that you would be with us all. In the name of Jesus Christ, I ask these things. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you, Pastor Vinny, for those beautiful words. It's my pleasure now to introduce the 2022 Chamber of Commerce Board Chair, Mr. John Jensen.
It's my pleasure to introduce the speaker for our presenting sponsor today. But first, please enjoy a brief history of Albertsons.
It's Joe Albertson.
At Albertsons, our local pride runs deep, back to 1939, when a guy named Joe built the first store in Boise, Idaho, with a commitment to giving his community a special kind of grocer. Today, we're as committed to Joe Albertson's vision as when we first opened our doors, to giving back to the people of Idaho, enhancing our community, and helping make this place special, today and for generations to come. Albertsons, your neighbor since 1939.
John began his career with Albertsons in 1977 as a courtesy clerk in the Colorado Springs, Colorado. He held assorted positions of increasing responsibility throughout the store, including store director at 5 different store locations prior to his promotion to the division office. Over the years, John took on various roles in several divisions, including Denver, Portland, Southern, and Intermountain. His functions included district manager, grocery sales manager, division vice president of marketing and merchandising, and corporate vice president of grocery sales. Most recently, John was senior vice president of marketing and merchandising for the Denver division, before being chosen for his current position of division president of the Intermountain division in October of 2017. It's my pleasure to please welcome Mr. John Colgrove.
John, thank you for those remarks. I certainly appreciate that. That's very kind of you. And on behalf of Albertsons, and as of last October, a resident of Meridian myself, welcome all of you, and thanks for attending the Meridian State of the City address. Give yourself a round of applause for being here, right? Jeez, it's been a while. I'd also like to thank the Meridian Chamber of Commerce for allowing Albertsons to sponsor this event again today. You know, it's so exciting to have this opportunity to meet as a group, to hear more about the future of our city from Mayor Simison. And it's wonderful, again, to see so many faces smiling in this audience. You know, we count ourselves lucky to live in such an amazing place where our community comes together to support each other. It's like no other place, right? And if I could just share a few comments about Albertsons. I think you saw a lot of them on the video, but I want to just make a few comments about how proud I am of our company and how we give back to our communities. We've got a long history, as you saw on the video, of supporting our neighborhoods and our communities. The Treasure Valley is where Albertsons Companies is headquartered, and I'm so proud of that. And it also happens to be where, as you heard on the video, a guy named Joe opened his first store in 1939. And 83 years later, 2,300 stores strong, we've never forgotten our roots, and we continue to carry on so many of Joe's rich traditions. One is to ensure our customers have access to the resources they need to support their families. Another one is to always give back to the communities where our customers and associates live and work. You see, Joe knew that in order to have a successful business, you had to have a thriving community. Our teams are committed to helping build stronger communities by serving on community boards, dedicating countless volunteer hours, and contributing to organizations that support our communities where the need is the greatest. And as our city continues to grow, Albertsons is growing along with it. At last year's State of the City address, we were thrilled to announce the addition of our 4th store in Meridian. And today, we're even more excited to share that new store in South Meridian on the corner of Eagle and Amity will be opening in late July. Right now, we're looking for July 23rd, grand opening date. Thank you. And as you know, it takes a lot of work to build a store like that, and it takes a lot of community support. So those of you that were involved in helping us with that, securing permits, getting everything going so we could get that beautiful store built, thank you so much for helping us with that. We'll begin stocking that store in a couple of weeks. We've already started our search for friendly associates, and we're ready to get going. And he's not here today. I was hoping to point him out. I think he's actually at a hiring event, but Tom Klenerick will be our store director at that store. And I was going to have Tom stand up and say hello, but I think he's out hiring some friendly associates. So I'll jump on with what's more important. Why are we here today? We are here to listen to the State of the Union or State of the City address. And it's my pleasure to introduce the mayor of this wonderful city of Meridian, Mayor Robert Simison. Mayor Simison was born and raised here in Idaho. And during his time in Meridian, he's been very instrumental in several strategic efforts with the city, and he's an active member in our community. With his passion for public service, his experience in transportation, and countless projects for Meridian, he looks forward to helping our city and communities tackle current and future needs. He's joined today at the front table here by his daughter Natalie, his son Ryan, and his in-laws. Please join me in welcoming to the stage the mayor of Meridian, Robert Simison. Robert, come on up here.
So last night we were sitting around the table, and my son was trying to help my wife do something, make a drink, and we were out of limes. So luckily, we now know that around July 23rd, Ryan can just run down to the street, because that Albertsons is only going to be about 4 blocks from our house, and we will be well supplied moving forward. So thank you. Appreciate those kind remarks, John, and thank you, Sean, in the chamber. I also want to welcome everyone and say good afternoon. It is such a pleasure to stand here today before a great crowd comprised of the Meridian business community, City of Meridian employees, and our residents and leaders throughout the Treasure Valley, both those in person and those watching from afar. We're going to speak about the state of Meridian. As cities, states, and a nation, we have challenges that we are all facing. Labor and material shortages are happening. Inflation is impacting nearly every sector of our economy, and some might question what the future holds. Elections and the expansive list of issues around them are dividing us, making it challenging to find commonality among our neighbors, coworkers, and families. In Meridian, despite these challenges, we continue to move forward and create our own future. Our companies and entrepreneurs are flourishing as our state and local business environment promotes opportunity for prosperity, bringing job growth to our community. In Meridian, we are committed to investing in needed infrastructure to enhance our quality of life and supporting public safety, protect our general welfare and civil liberties. We are finding the unity that exists and building upon those things which bind us together rather than tears us apart. That is why the state of Meridian is strong. We remain debt-free using a save before we spend approach. It starts with being conservative with our revenue estimates and making sure we don't grow at a rate faster than our revenues grow. We have a great team of employees and volunteers, from those that serve at the front counter to those who patrol the streets or work behind the scenes. They are all making it happen for our residents and our businesses. And I'll take that cue to say, feel free to stop me anytime and clap throughout these comments. I have no problem with that today. The city services being delivered are first in class. With our common sense fiscal management of valuable taxpayer dollars, bringing needed infrastructure and people on board in the most prudent manner. Our day-to-day work is combined with our strategic plan, which guides us to address the issues the community is facing related to responsible growth, transportation and infrastructure, business and economic vitality, public health and safety, a vibrant and sustainable community, and government excellence. This is what we are focused on to meet our vision to be the West's premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family. An important part of the team is our 6 city council members. These 6 individuals each bring a unique skill set to weekly meetings where topics such as land use applications, policy discussions, and budget needs are considered. They are a thoughtful, deliberative body, and I want to thank them for their work and dedication. Thank you, City Council. With our population increasing, our process for electing them is also evolving. You may recall that once Meridian was officially counted over 100,000 people by the census, Idaho State Code requires canceled districts. This will take effect for the November 2023 election. Our districting commission is in the process of developing the new city council districts and is currently conducting public hearings on their proposed map. The next public hearing is scheduled for June 9th. It is our intention to complete this process by the summer so the community is aware of the new districts 1 year in advance of the filing period for next year's election. Last week, I delivered my proposed fiscal year 2023 budget to City Council. It contains the resources needed to keep up with the services expected from our residents and the funds needed to help your public servants meet the challenges they are facing every day due to increasing economic strains across our economy. The budget request also has the opportunity to help address identified priorities in areas including transportation, housing, and public safety. The budget contains over 50 new employees as we prepare to open 2 new fire stations and a police precinct, meet our water and sewer delivery needs, and provide the needed support staff to meet these growing demands. It is ambitious, yet balanced. While there are more needs to be met from nearly every department in the city, this approach moves us towards achieving the city's needs while keeping to our funding ideals. As we develop this year's budget, we have also had the ability to evaluate the use of the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds. This is one-time money, and investing it into capital needs makes the most sense, rather than putting the money into ongoing expenses. ARPA dollars are generational, and their impact should be treated as such. They should be used for costs related to COVID, projects that satisfy broad community needs, and those having a long-term return on investment by lower ongoing costs to the community. With these goals in mind, the city has identified an initial set of likely projects which will help preserve the community's long-term future. Projects include improvements to the city's cybersecurity systems, addressing the impacts on city healthcare costs due to COVID, and lowering operational costs in our utilities through energy efficiency projects and new technologies. Alongside ARPA, housing affordability is another topic that is very relevant today. We are exploring what the appropriate role and responsibility of local government related to affordability is. A few weeks ago, City Council heard a workshop discussion from staff in the Idaho Housing and Finance Association on how affordable housing projects work. We don't have the answers yet, but we do know that we have some existing development tools available, and we are looking at others as well. What we do know is one solution alone will not solve the issue. While housing has received a lot of attention recently, transportation has long been identified by our residents as the top priority in every one of our citizen surveys. That is why I remain committed to improving transportation in Meridian and the Treasure Valley. We continue to see progress as our development and agency partners work to deliver projects in the community. During the last year, we have seen interim intersections in the Northwest around Owyhee High School, improvements to Eagle Road from Victory to Amity, and there's work being done on Lake Hazel to create a needed safe connection to Discovery Park. Moving forward, we expect the last segment of Chinden to be expanded from Locust Grove to Meridian, and Locust Grove to be widened from Overland to Victory in the south. Additionally, Linder Road Overpass remains the top roadway need in Meridian. Local partners have identified a return on investment that will keep costs of services low as travel times is reduced. A similar ROI is found by West Ada School Districts and its busing contractor through its operations. Linder Road Overpass will also bring properties north of the interstate, including Peregrine Elementary School, into the 5-minute emergency response time. Without Linder Road Overpass, this is currently not possible unless we build another fire station not yet currently planned. And it will also give time and gas back to residents and businesses who wish to avoid the interchanges of Meridian Road and 10 Mile, which are experiencing traffic congestion. I'm happy to say design is underway on Linder, and now we need to press forward to fund the construction of this important road connection. One of the largest road projects on the horizon is the construction of Highway 16. This will connect Interstate 84 to the current Highway 16 terminus at Chinden. This section of highway will provide enhanced north-south travel and better access for those living along this corridor. I want to say thank you to ITD for working with ACHD on a plan to improve the local road connections where Highway 16 will intersect the local road network. This will be a win for all members of the public who travel this corridor. Another project currently underway is the additional lane on Eagle Road headed south from River Valley to complete the connection of a third way all the way to the interstate. More capacity is needed, and this project continues the improvements to this area through development efforts under the successful STARS program that CenterCal has been doing. However, capacity improvements aren't the only need for Eagle Road. We also need a safer road. A road that doesn't feel like a racetrack as people are accessing critical healthcare services and local businesses. I've been speaking with our transportation partners, and I am hopeful we will find the best solutions to make Eagle Road safer. We know Eagle Road is a state highway, but no other city in the Treasure Valley or the state, as far as I'm aware, has a state highway running through a central business section of its community operating at 55 miles per hour. Could you envision speeds racing through Weiser, Payette, McCall, Donnelly? Highway 55 already slows down in Marsing, Nampa, and when you drop down the hill into Eagle. Why must this road be driven at 55 miles per hour in Meridian when it has the busiest intersections in the state with the highest traffic volume? It doesn't need to be, nor is it possible during most times of the day. Eagle Road will soon be resurfaced, which will impact road operations. Our partners need to consider whether the speed limit or access points need to change as well. Maybe variable speed zones, changes to signal timing, or added traffic signage solutions are necessary for some combination of all of them. Regardless, now is the time to make safety improvements to Eagle Road corridor. I'm asking the business community and our transportation partners to engage on finding meaningful, long-term solutions that will make Eagle Road easier and safer for all who travel it. A safer transportation network helps improve our community. As we look at our strategic goals, we also need to find ways to increase vibrancy and economic opportunity in Meridian. Several years ago, the Meridian Chamber of Commerce assembled a group of stakeholders to explore if an auditorium district makes sense in our community. Auditorium districts are a financing tool to bring facilities that attract visitors and can enhance a community's quality of life. These districts are funded by a user fee from hotel patrons and can provide great benefits in the form of meeting, hospitality, and entertainment spaces for graduations, businesses, performing arts, and other opportunities. We are seeing more hotels being built in Meridian. As this industry continues to grow, we need to determine if an auditorium district is the right approach. The Chamber of Commerce plans to explore this option. I look forward to continued discussions and involvement from our partners as we figure out a path forward that's right for Meridian. While work will be done over the next year on an auditorium district, our city employees have been and continue to do a lot of work. It takes a team, and I want to say thank you to you employees, Team Meridian. Here's go for it. Here's a quick look at some of the hard work and their accomplishments from this last year. Congratulations to the team on these successes and many more. As we grow, we need to invest in our parks and recreation facilities. This will include expansion of our system, improvements to some partner facilities, and plans for future amenities. First, we continue to build out Discovery Park in South Meridian. Phase 2 is currently under construction and will add 40 acres to the already 27 acres of this regional park. The second phase will take about 18 to 24 months to complete and include great amenities such as a tennis, pickleball, pump track, and lighted softball fields. These additions will add to the variety of Discovery Park to meet the expectations of our residents. Additionally, our pathways continue to expand as we have about 1/3 of our master system developed. Whether expansion occurs by the city or via private development that gets built, our residents greatly value this amenity. Looking ahead and working with our development partners, we will continue to connect our community gathering spots using our pathway network. Now, last year I spoke about the partnership with the Western Native Recreation District for Lakeview Golf Club. I'm happy to say that work is underway making general improvements to the course, core features like tee boxes, and soon necessary irrigation improvements. Updating these fundamental elements will allow more time and energy to be placed on other operational needs of the course. There will be some interruption to play on the course this summer, but I think the minor inconvenience for a few rounds will be well worth it in the end. Working with Ward, we are also transitioning the operation of the Story Park pool to the city. We have been addressing some needed safety and mechanical improvements to the pool. Unfortunately, one of the diving boards is out of the commission for the season. Sorry, Councilman Hoagland, but due to supply chain issues. However, there have been upgrades to the filtration and cleaning systems, ADA improvements, and some general TLC. Through our partnership with Ward, we are focused on reducing the property tax burden on Meridian residents by eliminating the separate taxing district. This is a multi-year plan to allow the transfer to occur in collaboration so it's not impact either of our existing services. I want to thank Board Chair Sean Wardle and the other members of Ward for working together to make this happen. As if these projects weren't enough, our Parks and Recreation team is also focused on plans for a new community center. While our current facility is going away, we have also heard from residents about what they would like to see in a new facility. Whether for classes, meetings, or a variety of activities, we will need space that allows us to deliver the premier services people are looking for. We are wrapping up our space study to help evaluate what makes sense so that we can begin design in 2023 and plan for construction the following year. It is my hope that the community center will continue to exist in downtown. If that is the case, once completed, it will join the Story Park pool as an amenity and gathering space for our residents in this part of our community. This will enhance our services in our downtown in a similar way that exists in South Meridian at the Hill. With investments in facilities downtown and the Hill and South Meridian bolstering service in those areas, we need to start the planning process for what the future looks like in North Meridian as well. In talking with our partners, we can determine how to meet the need for similar facilities that can serve this area. I look forward to working with our team and talking with our community partners about how to create a place for people to gather in North Meridian in the future. We are moving forward with these efforts, but I continue to be thankful for the investment from our private sector and the great amenities they are bringing to our community. I'm sure that all of you here present saw the area under construction as you drove in here at Roaring Springs, which is in phase 1 of its water park expansion. This expansion includes an action river, a new activity pool, a play structure for young kids with a surrounding pool, and lots of new seating areas. I generally appreciate the private investment by owners who are committed to the success of this facility and our community. They are focused on providing safe, clean fun, and jobs. Tom, Pat, thank you for your efforts and your continued investment in Meridian. Joining them this year, we expect to see Topgolf open their doors as well. I know many have already started to work on their swing for when they open. And not to be outdone, though, we are also seeing Shields move forward with their Meridian facility out at 10 Mile. The retail and entertainment facility will redefine sports shopping for many. And maybe you've heard about In-N-Out coming to the village. Yeah, exactly. We've heard that. But many have been waiting for this establishment in our market for as long as I've been with the city. Mayor Tammy, I'm sure it predates me as well. But additionally, you may have seen that the village is also looking at residential living with the bridge, along with more entertainment and shopping options at this destination location. All of these additions and improvements cement that Meridian is the entertainment center for the Treasure Valley. Whether it's food, shopping, or entertainment, businesses know that Meridian is where you want to be for your family-friendly operations. The community is growing, and people are asking for more opportunities to shop, dine, and play. These are all major investments in our community, and I know we will happily welcome them as they open their doors in Meridian. And you never know what may be next, but you won't hear it from me. Now, I've just been talking about the family fund in Meridian. With this and other investments comes jobs. We're seeing better paying family wage jobs coming to and expanding and staying in Meridian. In 2021, we had over 4,900 jobs created, with over 1,000 in our targeted industries of advanced manufacturing, IT, professional services, and healthcare. The average wage of jobs in Meridian is also increasing. We have seen new companies call Meridian home in the last few years, such as JST Manufacturing and AmeriCorps. We have seen companies expand like Cincy, In Time Tech, and Keller Engineers. And we have seen companies decide to stay in Meridian, such as ESI and Power Engineers, as they move and consolidate their operations into facilities to meet their growing demands. These businesses are here for a reason, and they are choosing to stay here. With a favorable business environment and a central location, Meridian is and will continue to be the destination location for businesses to call home. That favorable environment is no accident. At the city, we continue the Meridian way and practice our care values. I want to acknowledge the work of those in our development sector and their partners in our community development department. They are working hand in hand as we see larger, more complex structures built in our community where companies are investing and jobs are being created. Are we perfect? No. But are we committed to doing our part to meet the needs of those investing? Absolutely. We will continue to provide premier service to our customers and are always open to ideas and looking for ways to improve and streamline while ensuring safety for all. We are seeing commercial projects continue to develop at an amazing pace. Eagle View Landing, El Dorado, Silverstone, and 10 Mile Crossing all have active projects which will allow companies to grow and locate in Meridian. Another area we are seeing progress is in our downtown, with the projects under development beginning to shape the future of this area. Last fall, the first ever State of Downtown was held and included over 100 business reps and stakeholders to share information about the current state and future of our downtown. Since that meeting, there has been a large focus on plans for the Civic Block, which will continue the transformation of downtown with residential and commercial uses. In addition to the redevelopment, this project will also include the creation of a Festival Street along 2nd, which will help bring new opportunities to our downtown. While there's still details to be discussed and finalized, this project keeps the momentum we have seen with the Keller building being completed, Old Town Lofts making great progress with plans to open in the coming months, and Union 93 really taking shape. As we grow, we are continuing the work of our current comprehensive plan as well, which includes the creation of the Fields District Sub-Area Plan and updates to the open space and amenity standards. The Linder, Union District, and Northern Gateway urban renewal areas were also established that will help bring transportation improvements and other infrastructure needs to these areas with desired capital investment resulting in future family wage jobs. Now, one of the questions I often get asked is about infrastructure. How are we doing at keeping up and providing the needs to our community? Well, infrastructure comes in many forms. Something about roads and power, something about water and sewer and fiber. Truth of it, it's all that and more. We provide some of those services, and some are provided by our partners who are in the audience today. When it comes to water and sewer, we continue to deliver the service people expect and at an amazing rate. That said, due to the increased costs we are seeing for construction projects, we are proposing our first rate increase in 8 years for the amount our customers pay for water and sewer. This is necessary so we continue to meet the regulatory requirements imposed upon us and the service level expectations of our customers. Projects such as water treatment facilities and odor reduction technologies help provide the high quality resources the community expects. With large costs associated with water and sewer facilities, the increases will also help continue our debt-free spending practice for future capital needs. And while these rate increases are needed, they are small in nature, and our rates would still remain one of the lowest in the Treasure Valley. Our other infrastructure need is how best to deploy our police and fire services. Last year, I talked about the need to advance one of our fire stations ahead 2 years in order to deploy needed services to the community. After a lot of work between the city and our construction partner, we just held a groundbreaking ceremony for Station 7 last week. As I just mentioned in our water and sewer, we know that things are costing more and taking longer to build. Whether because of the pandemic, the global supply chain issues, or our historic labor market, everything is costing more and taking longer. A bid package for the 2 fire stations that was 14% above estimates is a remarkable accomplishment in this market and economic climate. I call a win for the design team and everyone involved. In fact, we've heard of some projects from other agencies coming nearly 60% over estimates. Also moving forward is our police precinct in North Meridian. The Meridian Police Department is growing just like our city, and having a second location will provide more convenience for residents, additional space for our teams, and reduced windshield time for our officers, which keeps people deployed in this section of Meridian. Less time driving back to headquarters means we can spend more time in neighborhoods doing what the men and women in the department do best, community policing. Our residents want to see our officers in their neighborhood, and our officers want to create relationships with them. Bringing the resource online will help meet those goals. The most important part of the infrastructure for these public safety needs is the human aspect. None of these stations and precincts can benefit the community without the people to serve in them. Growing our number of fire stations by 33% in 1 year is not an easy task, but it is a necessary one. I want to say thank you to our fire chief, his team, the union president, who are all coming alongside one another and putting together a plan to onboard the needed firefighters. And this would not be possible without the Rural Fire District continuing their tradition of partnering with the City of Meridian. With the Rural's fire help, with funding for additional personnel, we were able to advance one of the stations by 2 years, as was mentioned. We greatly appreciate their collaboration, so please join me in saying thank you to them as well. Our ability to leverage building all these facilities together is a cost savings for the city. More important than the cost savings, however, is that once these projects are completed, we can more adequately provide the life safety services this community expects and pays for with their property tax. Additionally, it will help us reduce our ISRB rating, which will be a financial benefit to all those who own property in Meridian. While these public safety needs are moving forward at the city, our local government partners are also bringing forward projects in Meridian. This past year, we celebrated the opening of a driver's license office in Meridian, making it easier for those in Western Ada County to access this service. Ada County also started construction on a new coroner facility. We are also having conversations with the Ada County paramedics about how we can reduce the response time in Meridian for medical transport of residents in need. Co-locating paramedics in one or more of our fire stations is a great way to reduce the response time and save them billing costs, and we look forward to ongoing conversations with them on this topic. Another one of our important community partners, Ada County Highway District, plans to construct a new operations yard on Ustick, which will bring quicker snow plow and street maintenance deployment to Meridian. So, how do we all pay for these infrastructure needs? In Meridian, we have long used impact fees to help pay for police, fire, and park facilities. ACHD also uses impact fees for their expansion of roadways. However, this is not something that the county has utilized, and they are now exploring that option and asking the cities to be their partners in this process. As a city, we and our residents have said growth should pay for growth. If that is true for our services, we need to support our local government partners who also have that tool when they bring it forward. We know an expansion of the Ada County Jail, a facility that every city uses, is needed. and the county is proposing to charge impact fees for these types of facilities. The city of Meridian needs to support this approach if the services demanded by growth are going to get funded by growth. Now, not every local government entity has access to impact fees. Libraries and schools are excluded from using impact fees, and they rely upon bonds and levies for their capital needs. In 2019, voters approved a levy for the Meridian Library District to make improvements to existing facilities and build 2 new libraries in our community. These projects continue to move forward. The Orchard Park branch has been under construction for the last several months, and we are hoping to see the project completed this December so they can increase space and provide another location for the community to access their services. In South Meridian, work continues to find a way to get this project moving forward. Due in part to the challenges that come during the recent years with increased costs, the Meridian Library District is working in partnership with the development community to find a better alternative. I'm confident they will find a way to deliver on their commitment to their patrons. These projects come after the Meridian Library District was able to relaunch Unbound to the community in our downtown, showcasing that the library is so much more than books. This makerspace is where innovation meets imagination. If you have an idea, they have a way to help you turn that idea into something real. With 3D printers, laser cutters, and a sound studio, there is so much to explore. In fact, later this year, I'll be launching the My Meridian podcast using this amazing facility. You can look for that to hit all your favorite podcast sites this fall. Sure. Over the last decade, we have seen the Meridian Library District grow, innovate, and be more than we ever knew it could be. I know it takes a team, and it has. Teams do have leaders, and there's one person who I think has been the catalyst to this team, their past executive director, Gretchen Casarati. Every interaction I had with her over the years was a joy. I know she loved her time in Meridian, and I think we all benefited from her knowledge, experience, friendship, and passion. I was sad when I heard the news she had accepted a position out of the area. And I was told, and when I sat down and I talked to her the last time, I felt we got 5 more years with her than we ever would, because she was a rock star. While she isn't here today, I would like to, I know we just applaud for her, but please join me in saying thank you one more time to Gretchen for her dedication to our community. So I'm choosing to believe that Gretchen accepted that offer outside the area to grow her career and help improve life for her and her family. But I wouldn't have blamed her if she chose to leave because of the views expressed by some in our community, views which were further flamed by some members of the Idaho legislature during this last year towards librarians. Now, I understand having disagreements with people and advocating for change if you don't like the way things are being done or decisions that are being made. I don't understand the approach that the House took on this issue, though. What they did is disappointing, and it's not the Idaho I grew up in. We used to find ways to work together, to welcome new ideas, to discuss and vet the merits of them. Republicans and Democrats could talk together on the fence line or in the coffee shop and pray together on Sunday. Disagreements happened, and we understood we would work it out. I want to encourage people coming to Idaho to get to know what has made us special. The rugged individualism balanced with the expectation that we help one out in times of need, that we are courteous and nice. You've chosen to come to Idaho for a reason. It is not what you left. It has taken generations and decades for Idaho to become the special place. Let's be sure we are not destroying what has made us who we are or letting the last 2 years define us. Yes, things change, people change, and it isn't going to stay the same forever. But that doesn't mean the Idaho I grew up in can no longer exist. Idaho is growing, and it is our responsibility to grow in a way that protects the tenets of our states and communities. To make that happen, we need to have people in positions of leadership who are doing what they can to preserve the Idaho way of living, doing business, and our values. Leaders who are focused on the people. They use common sense in their approach to challenges. They don't have to put others down to make a point and understand the value of lending a hand up. During the primary last month, I was pleased to see the results in races where Senator Chuck Winder and Councilman Treg Burnt were selected to move on to the general election. Now, I've had my disagreements with both of them, sometimes a little spirited, but I've worked it out with them. Regardless, what I know is that people like them in leadership positions in our community and our state are needed. And I am optimistic with their help, we can return to the Idaho way. As we are discussing our legislative partners, I also want to take a moment and talk about our schools. Last year, I feel like we put together a great way for the governor and the legislature to provide property tax relief while placing the responsibility of funding 100% of education, including the building of schools where it belongs, with the state of Idaho. It is vital that our state take up its constitutional responsibility to fully fund education. They didn't follow my advice last year, yet I think we can still accomplish the goal and get them to change their mind. In fact, just last month, the state projected a $1.3 billion surplus for the current fiscal year. The funds are there. I'm once again calling on them to use some of the historic surplus to pay down school bond debt, which would remove significant property tax burdens on the majority of Idahoans. Develop sideboards if you need. Provide some of the revenue to districts that have no bond debt if necessary. Additionally, establish a building fund for school districts to access for future schools. We can avoid future debt by establishing such a fund now. Ultimately, the state needs to act and fund educational responsibilities while providing property tax relief to Idahoans. If the governor and the legislature aren't interested in this approach, then we need to ask them to share their ideas and bring forward a proposal to fully fund our schools. As citizens of Idaho, we need to advocate for solutions and find ways for revenue from growth to fund school facilities that are needed because of growth. Impact fees may be part of the solution, but they only work in areas with high growth rates of our state, and not everyone is experiencing the same growth rate that we are. The state needs to invest growth revenue in new schools and give local control to communities in a way so they can meet their needs without passing bonds on property taxes. I remain committed to working with our local legislators, the governor, and others to find realistic solutions to these issues. And why does this matter? Well, over the next decade or so, West Ada is currently projecting the need for 8 new schools in their district. I'm confident that the Board of Trustees and Superintendent Bubb will put together a plan that will maximize space, work with partners, and focus on the needs of our community. To do this, though, they need tools to address the challenges they are facing. Ultimately, I would rather have them focus on educating their kids versus trying to figure out how to run bonds and levy elections. That's not their jobs. It's not. Despite that, this last year, we did see some great new facilities open in the West Ada School District, which include the last piece of Meridian High School's renovation with the auditorium and the opening of the Idaho Fine Arts Academy over at their complex there next to the district headquarters. This combined with the charter schools and private school activity in Meridian, we're seeing a great start, but we know there's so much more to do if we are to meet our long-term needs of our students and the expectations of our businesses and our community. Speaking of students, the events of Texas last week were horrific, and my heart goes out to the grieving families. As a parent, the thought of this is unimaginable. We send our children to school every day to learn and grow, but more and more they're being put in a position to be aware of the violence that can exist. Safety is our #1 priority in Meridian, and work is being done with our law enforcement and the school district to help stem potential acts of violence. But we need to do more now. In order to keep all of our students as safe as possible, I'm proposing we hire 6 school resource officers for assignment to West Ada Elementary Schools in Meridian. This will be a dedicated SRO program for our elementary schools. These additional officers will allow our current SROs to stay focused on their efforts in high schools and middle schools while bringing needed resources for our most vulnerable youth. And while we work to provide the best for our students, Meridian students are showing us their best. This year, we had the pleasure of acknowledging some state championship teams from Wahooz and Meridian high schools, and we'll get Rocky Mountain in soon as well. Also, our MIACers were able to meet in person again and have their impact felt, whether volunteering or holding the candidate forum during the fall elections. Our police department conducted the Youth Safety Academy, furthering my goals of youth community leadership and career development. Career and community leadership development in youth is important to me. That's why I'm excited to also push expansion of the city's intern programs over the next 18 months. A strong workforce is so important, and if young people are interested in working in local government, I'm committed to giving them opportunities and leveraging those opportunities into future public servants. One of the things that's been occurring as long as I've been with the city is using donated funds from the State of the City events to support our youth through scholarships. Volunteerism in the community has always been a primary factor with these scholarships, and as always, we have 4 amazing recipients. Let's take a look.
Hello, City of Meridian. My name is Emma Ford, and I just graduated from the Ambrose School. Next year, I will be attending Boise State University, where I plan on double majoring in both journalism and philosophy. I hope to one day work in the news industry or as an author. I'm most excited to meet new people both in college and hopefully one day in a study abroad program. I'm so grateful to receive the City of Meridian scholarship, and it will definitely help me afford college and maybe future travel plans. Go Broncos!
Hello, I am Chloe Young, and I recently graduated from Compass Honors High School. I'm excited to attend Idaho State University this fall, where I will study communication sciences and disorders in my pursuit of becoming a speech-language pathologist. I am looking forward to continuing to serve my community, as I will be staying locally and attending the Meridian campus. I can't wait to dig into my coursework and prepare for my career by participating in research and doing clinical work. This city scholarship will help me accomplish these goals and to get one step closer to achieving my dream of becoming a speech-language pathologist. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Audrey Thompson, and I am a senior at Renaissance High School. I'm getting my AA degree, and this fall I plan to attend Boise State University and get my Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. Long term, I plan to become a psychologist, and I am very appreciative of this scholarship. To me, it's not only an opportunity to further my education, but it's an opportunity to help and give back to Idaho as a psychologist.
Hi Meridian, I am Miles Peters and recently graduated from Rocky Mountain High School. I am also excited to attend the University of Idaho this fall, where I will study in fishery resources in my pursuit of becoming a fish and game conservation officer. I'm excited to join the university's Student Cattle Association and learn about agriculture and natural resources. This city scholarship will help me in my endeavors to graduate with a bachelor's degree and further benefit myself throughout my career. Thank you for this great opportunity.
Congratulations, Emma, Chloe, Audrey, and Miles. I look forward to following your lives to see the amazing things that you will do. Folks, let's be thankful for the cool, wet spring weather we have had like this past weekend. This past spring reminded me the beauty, power, and importance of water in the West. Said it before and I'll say it again. Water is our most precious natural resource in Idaho. As a skier, I am always excited to see snow in the mountains. As an Idahoan, I also know that snow is the lifeblood of our ability to live and thrive in a high desert summer thanks to the intricate system of dams and irrigation and a healthy aquifer. As winter progressed with excitement in December, each week from January through April seemed to come a report of the lacking of snow in the mountains for the reservoirs. Yet with many of those weeks also came cool weather and rain showers, even snow at the higher elevations. The extra moisture was certainly a welcome relief. Despite the storms we experienced, we remain in a short water year. Is it as bad as it was predicted? No. Would we have liked it to be better? Absolutely. I can look out today and see our Public Works Engineering group, and I smile because water is no simple topic in Idaho. Are we talking about groundwater supply where we get our drinking water? Are we talking about surface water supply for irrigation? Does it really matter what type of water? The answer is no, it doesn't. We use water to grow for crops. We use it to fight fires. We use it to supply industry, and we expect it to come out of our kitchen sinks every day. So I can stand here confidently today and tell you that the groundwater supply that Meridian uses to provide drinking water is healthy for the long-term future. However, I cannot tell you the same for this year's surface water, which is used for our farmland and irrigating lawns and landscapes. To be healthy in the Treasure Valley for generations to come, we need to be prudent with our water, no matter where it comes from and what its purpose is. Being water-wise starts with following guidance from our water suppliers, whether it's the irrigation district, canal companies, city, or homeowners association. I encourage you to follow watering schedules and rotations that your subdivisions have implemented. If you don't know what I'm talking about, reach out to your HOA and ask. And if your HOA doesn't have one, work with them to help set one up. Inside your home, make sure you're taking simple steps to conserve, such as putting in low-flow devices and not leaving the water running when not in use. If we all use a little less water and spread out when we use it, the more we can thrive this year and leave a legacy of smart use for future years and generations. Speaking of legacy and impacts on generations, let's talk about the Mayor's Legacy Award winner. This year's recipient has deep roots in our community, where he relied upon water to grow crops on his farm in our community. But was the role he played for 50 years as a different kind of farmer and user of water, where he has developed a legacy in Meridian that will continue to be felt for generations. As a pastor, he made his mark on our community, never seeking the spotlight, by advocating for what was right. All you have to do is look at the programs offered through 10 Mile Christian Church under his leadership. Whether it's implementing Celebrate Recovery programs before they were cool, or whether being the leader in providing prison ministries to help those look for a new path. Whether building a facility that is a beacon to the community where they have space for those who have special needs, have hosted their fall festival, the Mayor's Prayer Breakfast, TMC Sports, or they've been advocating for the building of the 10 Mile Interchange. You can feel his impact. Now, I could go on personally about how he has personally impacted my life and that of my family, but suffice it to say, there are thousands of stories out there to be shared about how he has touched the lives of so many. It's my honor to present this year's Mayor's Legacy Award in honor of the selfless dedication to help Meridian become a vibrant community and a premier city to live, work, and raise a family. Congratulations to the now retired Pastor Steve Moore. Pastor Moore, would you like to come on up, please?
It's a dangerous thing to give a preacher a microphone. But I tell you, 50 years here, when my wife and I came here in 1972, there was about 4,500 people in a community. But what we found was a community with a heart. And that's what we still have. And it's just been an amazing, amazing experience. There's a lot of rumors about what's ahead, but we are going to continue to be residents of the city of Meridian. We've been able to get a organic alfalfa ranch up in Fairfield, and that's going to be a lot of fun for me. But, you know, I was just going down memory road, watching this and listening to your remarks, Robert. I do want to express a tremendous amount of gratitude to this city. I was just telling the story this last week of how the city got behind us at our very first. We've relocated twice over the years and added onto our buildings a number of times. Always, always, the city of Meridian has been our partner in this. And in fact, that story in 1978, it'd take too long to tell, but helping us just go through the process of expanding our facility. This is an amazing place for Bethine and I to have lived and spent our life. And we just are grateful for what we've been a part of, the partnerships we have, the people we know. It's truly, truly our home. And I would be remiss if I didn't particularly single out my wife. That's always been by my side, and just stood behind a lot of crazy ideas I've had. So thank you to this community. Thank you, Mayor. Grateful, just humbled by this.
We are fortunate to call Meridian home. We are growing, evolving, and thriving. We are working with our partners to align our collective resources and grow responsibly. We're receiving private investment, which is bringing infrastructure, housing, jobs, and entertainment to our community. As your mayor, I'm committed to addressing the challenges we face, encouraging innovation within the city, and will stay focused on the fundamental services we provide. As a leader in the community, I will continue to advocate for our infrastructure and state policy needs to get us closer to being the premier community in which to live, work, and raise a family. As an Idahoan, I will do my part and encourage others to do their part to find commonality with one another so we can keep Meridian and Idaho what we all know and love. Thank you for the opportunity to serve this wonderful community, and God bless.